Imagine our planet interwoven by threads of light, carrying the sum of human knowledge, creativity, and connection across vast oceans in less time than it takes to blink. This isn't fantasy, it's the breathtaking reality enabled by a hidden marvel, the global network of undersea fiber-optic cables. Within these fine strands of purest glass, we orchestrate dances of photons, pulses of light carrying staggering amounts of information. Nearly all are transcontinental data. This mastery over light itself, spanning continents and facilitating near instantaneous global interaction, stands as a profound testament to human ingenuity and the relentless drive for technological and societal advancement. In the center of the cables, surrounded by layers of protection, are glass strands of optical fiber that are each around the thickness of a hair, through which data travels at about 2/3 the speed of light. By rapidly pulsing a laser light on and off through a strand of fiber, bits of data are sent through the cables. In total, the deep-sea cables are capable of sending about 9,000 terabits of data per second, which is equivalent to about 500 billion printed pages of text. The first transatlantic communications cable connecting Europe to the United States was laid in 1858. About 100 years later, in the 1950s, cables used to carry telephone signals were installed. This was followed by fiber-optic cables in the 1980s, which has since extensively proliferated. There are at least 570 deep-sea cable systems with more planned, which in total stretch approximately 920,000 miles, the equivalent of wrapping the Earth at its thickest point about 37 times.
Cables are laid directly on the ocean floor using large specialized ships that contain rolls of cable. They are capable of laying about 60 to 90 miles of cable per day. When cables come closer to the coast, they are buried to ensure the protection. When they arrive at the coastline, they enter a building called a cable landing station, where they connect up with the terrestrial infrastructure. Undersea fiber optic cables have been traditionally funded by consortia of telecom companies, public organizations, and private investors. An example is the TAT-14 cable, linking North America and Europe. However, in the past decade, major technology companies, including Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft, have increasingly invested in proprietary cable systems. This shift raises concerns about the potential centralization of critical global internet infrastructure among fewer companies. The installation and maintenance of these cable systems rely on specialized firms, notably Alcatel Submarine Networks, NEC, Subcom, and ESB International, whose ships deploy cables at ocean depths approaching 5 miles.
Universities have been pivotal in advancing communication technologies from the very beginning. Early research in electromagnetism at institutions like Albany Academy and Princeton University, notably by Joseph Henry in the 1830s, lay the scientific groundwork essential for the invention of the telegraph, while professors like Samuel Morse at NYU developed and demonstrated early systems. As technology progressed through copper wires for telephone networks and coaxial cables, university research programs contributed to the field's evolution. Later, universities were central to developing the infrastructure that underpins today's digital world, such as ARPANET, the precursor to the Internet, which originated from collaborations between institutions like UCLA, Stanford, MIT, and Harvard. Today, universities are driving revolutionary advances in fiber optics, from integrating quantum communication with classical networks and developing next-generation components like ultra-fast switches to creating new optical materials, improving fiber-to-chip connections, and collaborating on techniques to achieve unprecedented data speeds. Nonprofit institutions like Woods Hole and MBARI operate cabled ocean observatories for real-time monitoring of seismic and environmental data. These efforts contribute to both technical innovation and regulatory insight, supporting resilience planning, environmental assessment, and the integration of scientific sensors into future cable systems. Undersea cables are critical to global connectivity but face significant vulnerabilities, including sabotage, espionage, and surveillance. Historically, state actors have intercepted cable communications for intelligence purposes, exemplified by the U.S. Navy's Operation Ivy Bells during the Cold War, and more recently by the NSA and Britain's GCHQ. Recent geopolitical tensions have further highlighted these risks. For example, in 2025, reports indicated that China developed contingency plans to sever Taiwan's undersea cables in the event of conflict. Cables also frequently sustain accidental damage, typically due to fishing activities, anchoring incidents, wildlife interference, and natural events such as undersea earthquakes and landslides. In 2022, Tonga experienced prolonged isolation after a volcanic eruption severed its sole international cable. While research has shown that the installation and maintenance of undersea cables have minimal environmental impact, growing concern has prompted efforts to establish stronger international environmental protections.
Public awareness regarding undersea cables remains limited, yet their strategic importance is increasingly recognized by governments. In 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice recommended blocking a cable segment between the U.S. and Hong Kong, citing national security concerns. Despite growing attention to satellite-based internet services like SpaceX's Starlink, satellites are projected to only have a total capacity of 50 terabits per second in 2026, compared to just under 9,000 terabits per second for fiber optics. While useful for remote access, satellites cannot currently match fiber's data-intensive applications. A way to frame this existing technological dynamic is to think of satellite networks as on-ramps to highways, with the highways being submarine data cables. Far from being obsolete, fiber is essential for the next wave of technology, particularly quantum computing and communication, which promises things like truly unhackable connections. Quantum communication works by sending information encoded on incredibly small, delicate photons through the fiber cables. Fiber is ideal because it carries these quantum signals efficiently over long distances. This enables techniques like quantum key distribution, QKD, a method for creating secret keys where the laws of quantum physics guarantee that any eavesdropping attempt is immediately detectable by the communicating parties. Making this even more practical, recent breakthroughs show it's possible to send these quantum signals through the same fiber cables already carrying today's high-speed internet traffic. This opens the door to using much of our existing network to eventually link quantum computers and build a future quantum internet. Additionally, innovations like space division multiplexing are also dramatically boosting capacity by packing many more data lanes, either through high fiber optic counts or multi-core fibers into a single cable. These advancements ensure that next-generation systems can achieve petabit-level capacities, solidifying fiber's essential role for decades to come. Beneath the waves lies a living network woven from pure light, a truly modern marvel carrying our collective thoughts and data across continents at unimaginable speeds. We must remember that this extraordinary capability wasn't inevitable. It was forged through persistent curiosity and scientific dedication, often beginning within the halls of universities, from the earliest telegraph breakthroughs to today's explorations into quantum communication and beyond. Universities have been indispensable partners throughout this journey. Sustaining this momentum and unlocking the next generation of possibilities, from a quantum internet to seamless global collaboration, requires our continued commitment to the fundamental science research that fuels these breakthroughs. With unwavering support for researchers and institutions driving discovery, we can not only protect this vital infrastructure but actively transform it, harnessing light in even more ingenious ways to power the unfolding potential of tomorrow's world and connect humanity as never before.